Lumix S5. For those who watch me regularly, you know that I'm a huge fan of this camera. I've reviewed it when it came out back in 2020 and all the Lumix prime lenses on it, and I have been using it regularly ever since. The truth is that because of what lenses I have and what my workflow is, I have and still use Nikon Z6 and Sony a7 III and Sony a7 IV and other cameras, but I just realized that I have been using S5 for more and more photography and video, especially video work, that I can honestly say that it has become my main, or one of the main, tools that I use for my professional work. In this video I'll tell you what I really like about this camera after using it for way over a year now, and what I don't, not much really to complain about, but I'll give you the full picture here. So if you want to know more, don't skip, keep watching. I have said it several times in the past, all current cameras and lenses do a very good job. They are all good. In the end, it all comes down to how you use them, what for, and what are your personal preferences. I have been using Nikon Z6 for a while for majority of my interview, talking head video filming, including filming myself here on my channel, and also as a #1 camera for photography and handheld video shooting. When shooting video handheld, 99% of time I'd go for manual focusing anyway, which makes all that talk about how good or bad AF system of any camera is absolutely irrelevant. An S5 is miles better video camera than Nikon Z6 or Z6 II. Photography wise, I use 50mm lenses 90% of time. It's just the focal length that I personally like a lot, one that I'm used to and one that gives me everything I need to shoot in my style. Pairing Lumix S5 with their very good, this 50mm f1.8 is a perfect combo for me, and one that I feel always at home with, absolutely in my comfort zone shooting with it, and one that I keep shooting majority of my professional work with now. So the things that I love about Lumix S5. It's an amazing hybrid mirrorless camera truly capable of shooting photos and video to a very high standard, and one that is direct competitor to Sony a7 IV, Canon R6 and Nikon Z6 II. It is actually in many ways better. I always say to everyone who asks me which camera to buy to go for the one that looks good to you. I know it might sound stupid, but apart from specs, a lot of people, including me, like or dislike specific brand or a camera because of what it looks like. To me, this is a very good looking, sexy looking camera. Small, but not too small, and good looking. And it has got all the specs. Saying it's small, it is very easy to make it bigger for video work. It is easily expandable using cages and rigs to make it more suitable for serious video work. I use small rig exclusively only because I like how it all fits, how it all works and looks together. So you can add a cage, handles, follow focus system and more to it to make it more practical to use and heavier for better handling when handheld filming. It is very easy to use. S5 shares the same menu system with all other S-line and GH line of cameras. Super easy to navigate, intuitive, and one menu system that you don't have to spend a day to find something specific in. Also, the whole camera body, its buttons, layout are intuitive and easy to find and navigate and use. For photography work, I specifically like very good auto-focusing system. Yes, you heard me right. When it comes to photography and the type of photography I do, which is mainly portrait, food, lifestyle, cars or interiors, this is as good as it gets. Zero problems and on par with any other brand out there. Reliable and consistent. Amazing color and contrast in raw files straight from the camera. Maybe not a huge deal, but in my experience shooting with several different brands of cameras, Lumix delivers the best looking files straight from the camera. If you get your exposure and white balance right, they rarely need a lot of adjusting or tweaking in post. Nikon and Canon come very close second, but not as good as what this produces. Sony files in comparison are always way darker and duller than on the back of the camera and need significantly more post-processing than the files from S5. For video work, Where do I even start? This is a known fact. This camera is a video workhorse, and a lot of people buy it because of its video capabilities. For me, the most important features are that you can record 5.9K, 6K raw video over HDMI to external recorder like Atomos Ninja 5. I don't use it every day. I don't need to record in RAW every day, very big files, but I got this available to me when I need it and if I need it. 4K 60p, okay, with crop, but also every other video configuration format that you could think of, including anamorphic squeeze and preview disc squeeze. It's all kind of given. But what is special about this camera is the quality of video it delivers in all of these formats. Vlog flat profile built in. You don't have to buy it separately like with some older Lumix cameras. Recording in Vlog gives me that extra bit of dynamic range to play with in post. No time limits on most of the formats. All the big ones like the 4K 60p is limited to 30 minutes, but all the like HD and 4K 24 will run indefinitely. Shutter angle. This is a must-have for any serious filmmaker. I can't tell you how many times I have cocked up shutter speeds when filming by accident with Sony or Nikon cameras. With this, you can set the camera to 180-degree shutter angle and don't worry about it when changing the frame rates at all. Normally, you'd have to change the shutter speed to double of your frame rate. With 180-degree shutter angle, you don't have to. One less thing to worry about and one less thing to get wrong when shooting with different frame rates all the time. I love that you can set the focus by wire lenses to linear focusing. This is a great feature for any filmmakers, as you can make lenses without hard stops like this one turn the same amount each time to acquire the focus manually. This works with all Lumix lenses obviously, and with most of Sigma lenses now as well. As I use S5 most of the time handheld, the in-body image stabilization IBIS is way above standard here. Really good, making this camera a perfect choice to shoot handheld with. I do. You literally can get tripod-like shots without the tripod with this, and it works with unstabilized lenses too, like vintage or cinema lenses. Dual ISO, it is ISO 400 and 4000 if I am right, but the high ISO performance of S5 is like nothing I have seen on any other brand of cameras before. I just never have to worry about not having enough light to film with. I just crank ISO up until it looks right, and the digital noise is never a problem. Within the reason, of course, but I can tell you that ISO 4000 on any Nikon, Canon or Sony hybrid camera is a mess in comparison to what this delivers. It looks just normal at 4000 and even higher ISO settings. And the autofocus, yes, it has a really bad rep about its autofocus, but as every serious Lumix camera shooter will tell you, it's not that bad. It's never going to outperform Sony, it's true, but it is there when you need it, and if it's used right, it can save the day. I don't personally rely on it all the time. I choose this camera for its image and video quality, not its autofocus. It works well for pre-focusing, for filming people talking, and even for some gimbal work with the right lens. The bottom line is, it is better than most people say, and it's totally usable for the right type of filming. Lumix has got decent selection of lenses available, and there is something for everyone, from super expensive and premium quality S Pro line to full set of f1.8 primes, all made to work really well with this, and all Lumix cameras are designed for these cameras. But you also have every single Sigma lens in their catalog available in L mount as well, and they all work with S5. Also, it is very easy to adapt pretty much any vintage lens to L mount too, opening a really wide selection of lenses available for this camera. Okay, there are a few little things that I don't like or that annoy me a little bit about S5. Nothing major, and I'm just nitpicking here. Firstly, the micro HDMI socket. I think that this camera came out just right before every manufacturer realized that the only way to connect anything HDMI to a camera or camera via HDMI is via the full-size HDMI cable. This little thing bends, breaks and comes loose every 5 minutes. As I always record to Ninja 5, I have to have have to have multiple cables with me at all times just in case, as they keep breaking. That small HDMI socket should have never been invented. Even the mini one is better, but it would be awesome if this camera had full-size HDMI socket like all current cameras, GH6, S1H, or even Sony A7 IV. Not a big fan of is the flip screen. The flip screen like this is great if you are a vlogger who films themselves on the move all the time and you have to see yourself. If you are not that, then this can get really annoying sometimes. I love the flip or tilt screen on S1H and GH6. As I said before, I use Ninja 5 with this camera all the time, and the HDMI cable with its bendy, fragile ending is always in the way of the screen. The screen can rotate freely with the cable attached to the camera. I guess this is a standard now, this kind of flip screen on all cameras, and it might not be a problem for everyone, but for me, I'd love to see something more like the screen on GH6, which tilts or flips if you wanted to. One more thing that bugs me is that there is no way to switch from autofocus to manual electronically via the camera. It's great that there is a dedicated manual physical switch, but sometimes I switch from auto to manual and back while filming, and this is always too hard to turn smoothly or without the click. It would be great if it would be possible to program one of the function buttons to switch from auto to manual focus with a press of a button, but you can't. And possibly one thing that stops this camera from being Netflix certified is the fact that there is no timecode out or even flash sync socket. GH6, although it is prominently a video camera, has got built-in flash sync socket, and it comes with flash sync to timecode out adapter. It's not here. There's nothing you can do. Not the problem for me, as unlikely will be filming anything for Netflix anytime soon, but these things sometimes are good to have just in case, you never know. Conclusion, this camera is still a beast in 2022, and for the price there is literally nothing else on the market like it available at all. Lumix has got very often offers running as well, and you can get the camera with the kit lens or even this 50mm f1.8 for way under $2,000 or pounds. I just wish people stop whinging about the autofocus system. Whinging about it won't change it. It works and it is what it is. S5 has got so much more to offer than just the AF, and it is an amazing value for money hybrid camera. It is my #1 choice for video work right now, and I do shoot a lot of photography with it too, making my Nikon Z6 really retired now. This is the one. This is the camera I really like. And this is it from me. I hope this video was in some way informative or entertaining. If it was, please give me the thumbs up. Please follow me on Instagram and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Vlog frat I can't even say it. One less thing to worry about and one less thing to get wrong when shooting with different frame rates forever. I'm using my hand a lot. I love the flip or tilt screen on S1H and GH6. You can tilt it or flip it, whatever you need. As I said before, too many words.